Hey, this is Clayton Olson, and I'm back with Camille Virginia from masterofflinedating.com. And in this video, we are going to talk about masculine and feminine energies and how to use feminine energy to attract the right man for you. Now, Camille, this video is really important, and I've had a number of clients that are successful, entrepreneurial, corporate women who are killing it in their careers. And that success in that specific context sometimes, and very often, can get in the way of their dating life. And it affects men in a certain way that it's not really positive. And I would love to get your opinion on if a woman is kicking ass in her career, how would she begin to find her feminine energy? How would she do it? And perhaps maybe the place to start would actually be talking about why it's important for a woman to find her feminine energy. And then perhaps we can go into the how and talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So I think most women want the man to take the lead. And we're in this weird modern pop culture dating situation where, like you said, women are kicking ass in their careers and going out with, work can be a very masculine energy mode. And I was in corporate for 10 years and I now have my own business. Like, I get it. You've got to be ruthless sometimes, but we don't want to be like that all the time. We want the guy to take the lead. We want to be feminine. We want to, have these things that come naturally to us and be able to turn off that masculine energy. But a lot of women don't really know how to do that. Yeah. So I think it's important because when you stay in that masculine energy so much and you feel like everything's on your shoulders, it's stressful, it's exhausting, it's not enjoyable, and it may serve you well in your career, but by actually turning that off, or turning that down a little bit in your home life, your social life, it just balances you out. Everyone has a balance of masculine and feminine. They shouldn't be in all for 100% of the time.
Yes, completely agree. And a point to add to that from the man's side. When a woman is able to be comfortably in her feminine, and that doesn't mean that she doesn't have a very well-developed masculine side, but when a woman has the flexibility to move into the feminine, it actually allows the man to feel like a man in relationship with her. And I gotta say, the women that I've dated, the ones that allowed me to feel like I was able to root into my masculinity and lead and initiate, the feeling that I got in those interactions and those relationships was head and shoulders above the ones where we were almost fighting for some type of leadership position, or let's not even say leadership. Let's talk about the initiatory, or being the initiator in the relationship, fighting for that. So I just wanted to add that point of just how important it is to be able to have that flexibility, that range, to be able to go into the feminine if you're a woman.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. And I love how you described that too. I was like, yes, that sounds so great. Yeah. And I like to quote Foreigner on this. There's a Foreigner song, and it's like, the woman in you brings out the man in me. And I think you hit the nail on the head of, when you're in your feminine mode, it encourages the guy and allows him to step up and be masculine, which is what, he wants to naturally be for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. So how does a woman do it? How does a woman go from this, perhaps taking off that outfit, that garb of masculinity that allows her to be successful, and move more into this feminine receptivity, softness, openness, perhaps allowing him to lead?
So I like to call it the flip to feminine. So it's having a trigger that will get you out of that work mode, out of that masculine energy. And it's like basically engaging one of your senses. And so it could be a spritz of perfume. It could be changing your clothes, because when you change your clothes, you change your energy. So maybe you have a date right after work, and, just bringing a change of clothes can just help you get into that different state of mind, or a different pair of shoes or something like that. Or, enjoying some chocolate, doing a 5-minute meditation, just something to draw the line and allow your body to tap into that feminine side and be like, all right, work's over. Time to be in dating, social, feminine energy mode.
Beautiful. And what other qualities go into something that emulate or reflect this femininity that women are wanting to have more access to?
Well, let's see. I was teaching a workshop the other day, and I was talking to the students afterwards and just said, what stood out, or what was your impression of the tips that I covered? And one of them, who was a very high-powered corporate consultant, said, "It gave me permission to be girly again."
Ooh.
And it's just that, like, she's like kind of like a little schoolgirl, like we all have that in us. I think we shut her down because this is another point I want to make. Being feminine does not mean weak. For some reason, a lot of people, I think, have adopted this notion that, when you're feminine, you're weak. But I mean, if anything, when you know how to work your femininity, you're actually a lot stronger. But it's just allowing yourself to be playful and flirt and have fun. Your style of play. That's what I would call it. It's a little bit different for everybody, but find what that is for you. What you do at home when no one's looking, and like dancing around to music or singing or whatever, that kind of thing. Like tap into that, be that out in public more, and have a trigger to get there.
Yeah. Great. Wonderful. And I love the playful distinction that it's not weak. It's just it's the ability to be playful and be flirtatious and not take life so seriously. Men typically by default take life really seriously. All the men that I've known, the clients that I've worked with, friends, there's something about this idea of what it means to be a man that gets culturally programmed into us. And it's probably passed down as well through our family systems, of the man being a provider and somehow rising in status and making something of himself in life. And that is not an easy path. And it's often one that brings about a lot of stress, a lot of heaviness, a lot of kind of like a stoic nature. And the perfect complement, what gives a man permission to begin to crack out of that and find more flexibility in his life, is when a woman is comfortable, courageous, and strong enough to be in her femininity and bring that to the interaction. So to your point, it's not weak. It's so needed, I think, by men, and it is what makes you just irresistible.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's what women want. But we just have been conditioned to think, oh, well, if you're girly or feminine, like, you're not going to get as far in your career and stuff, but that couldn't be further from the truth. So, it's finding that feminine strength. And then, I love what you said about it brings out his masculinity. It allows him to go there, which makes him feel great. And I love making other people feel great, whether it's men or women. So that's just even more encouragement for me to tap into my feminine, knowing that it makes my guy feel great too.
Yeah. And that's totally it, is the feeling that you end up giving to people around you by being able to have that. That's beautiful. Well, Camille, thank you for sharing your thoughts on feminine and masculine energy and how a woman can step more into her feminine. If anybody wants to learn a little bit more about what you do over at masterofflinedating.com, what would be the next step from here?
I would say start with my free ultimate guide as a gift to all your viewers. And it's called Best Date Ever, the ultimate guide to turn a chance encounter into an epic first date. And it just has a whole bunch of tips of how to start putting yourself out there, no matter where you are on the social or dating comfort zone. Just easy, authentic, natural ways. And you can find that at masterofflinedating.com/Clayton.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. And everybody, the link that Camille just mentioned is below this video in the description. So be sure to check it out. And Camille, thank you for coming on and sharing your wisdom about offline dating. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. And I look forward to continuing the conversation and hearing about what you're up to as everything continues to unfold in your life.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Clayton.